Good morning to all of you. And morning. First of all, I'm very happy to be here today, this morning. I'm really glad to be here, and I feel very fortunate to offer a mandala to His Holiness Gyalwang Karmapa for Jintina Dorje, and I'm really glad that we are all here together. And in this moment, I would like to share a little bit of my personal, the history of His Holiness Gyalwang Karmapa story. Okay? First of all, I know His Holiness Gyalwang Karmapa since I was a very little boy. When I was a little boy, very small, since that time I had a personal connection to His Holiness Gyalwang Karmapa. At that time I went to Tsurku, and I was very little. I do not remember anything. But I had such a great, beautiful connection, and it was unforgettable. I could not forget for the rest of my life. It was like that beautiful connection that I had when I was really little. And then afterwards, I met His Holiness again in 2000 in India. So since then, I had greatest respect from my side and from my heart. So, as you all know, that I have been invited here, to attend this special Kajumalam since day before yesterday. It is organized by Palpung, and the Kajumalam team and everything, and I'm very happy to be here. So, my personal, because this is a short time that I could express a story about His Holiness Gyalwang Karmapa. My personal experience is that His Holiness Gyalwang Karmapa, everybody says that he's incredible. And I think he's more than incredible, because he's not just the head of the lineage, or he's not like just His Holiness. He thinks about Buddhism, he thinks about monastery, he thinks about, and he cares about the future of the Buddhism. So because most of us, like person like me, we could not see a very long in the future how Buddhism should be and how it should be approached to the ordinary people. But His Holiness, like when I read on the internet, he always says such a beautiful things that I couldn't even imagine. He speaks through his experience, he speaks through his compassion, and with his love and respect to all the people around us and around the world. And for that, I'm really amazed, and I'm really, he is my example, to open my mind and approach to the ordinary people about the Buddhism. And then, on the top of that, since the reincarnation, the history of the Karmapa, it has been already now 900 years. And then on the top of that, he's only 29, but he thinks and he takes all the responsibility exactly like how Bodhisattva should do. So that's what really amazed me, because he worked very hard, he cares about everyone, he thinks about everyone into a very, 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 very detailed. So, for me, whenever I feel like I couldn't do my job, I couldn't do my work, I couldn't maintain my responsibility, I always look up to him and say, he is my example, he is my inspiration. So whenever I look at His Holiness Dharma activity, and it always encourages me to be more stronger and better in the future. So I think not just me, I think all of us as a one family, we should see His Holiness as a great example. Not just the Holiness Gyalwang Karmapa, also the example and inspiration for our spiritual and dharmic path. I think that all of us, we know how incredible he is, and how great teacher he is, how experienced he is, how great Bodhisattva he is. Everybody knows. So I don't think it's really important for me to tell you who he is or what he is. I think we all know. But the main point is not just looking up. I think main point is us, that we are all practitioners. We all have to live together as a one family, and the love and respect and the peace and harmony. That's how Buddhism started. So we can be the example for the society. So I think like gathering like this, doing a Gajumolam, here, I think the main point is to encourage each other, inspire each other, make an example of each other, and to live together as a one big family, so that we can fully and really help other people in the real life, not just praying for them. So I think that gathering like this has a great meaning, and the great meaning is to live together as a one family. And I think that is really important, because anybody can say that His Holiness is great. It's so easy to say. But I think the most important is to keep the commitment is the more important. Because anybody can say, I respect him, I love him, he's incredible, he's beautiful. And he's encouraging. Anybody can say that, anybody can copy that and then mention to other people. But the most important part is that we have to work together as a team, live together as a one family, and then we can fully help other people in the real world, in a real life. And that's what I believe. So by seeing an example like His Holiness, not just sitting there and praying all the time, also making a commitment to each other, living together as a one team, and living in a peace and harmony, I think that's quite important for all of us. I think that is responsible of all of us. So I think that all of us, as I mentioned, I think all of us, we have a responsibility. Because myself, I'm a Kalu Rinpoche, and I'm a teacher. And every time I give a lot of teaching to my students around the world, in Europe, South America, Asia, United States. I could easily teach, they could easily listen, they could also easily practice. That was never a problem. But the problem is all the Dharma practitioners having a respect and peace and harmony, having a respect to each other. I think that is the most challenging for me in my responsibility. So I think that if we, all of us, if we work together for His Holiness as a team, as a one family, I am sure that that is the best long life prayer. So working together as a team, as a one family, and just keep your pride a little bit away. So you can keep your pride away. It doesn't mean that you will destroy your own life. So keeping your pride away a little bit and working together as a team for this Gajumolam and for His Holiness future Dharma activity. And I think that's the best long life prayer for His Holiness. So I think from now on, I think we should make a commitment to each other, to inspire each other, encourage each other in a positive dharmic path. And because myself, I have grown up as being a Rinpoche. So whenever I looked at His Holiness Dharma activity, it's really amazing and encouraging for all of us. So I think keeping our His Holiness as our example, as our inspiration, and then all of us living together as a one family, working together as a one team, I think that's the main point. Because even I will say a great story about His Holiness, there is no point. Why? Because you don't get the meaning. You will just hear it in your ear and you will say, oh, okay, so that is what it is, that is what it is, that is what it is. But the main point is that we have to be together and work together for our own, for the future responsibility and for the all sentient being. Yeah? And I don't want to say unnecessary things. They already mentioned how great His Holiness is, and we all know how great He is. And then we have to know what our priority is. I think a little bit of Dharma practice will help a lot for all of us and for others. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.